Common problems farmers experience. Have ever wondered why so many new farmers struggle, even though farming is one of the oldest and most important professions in the world? Some dream of lush green fields and big harvests, but what they meet instead are empty pockets, dying crops, and endless frustrations. The truth is, farming isn't just about planting seeds, it's about overcoming challenges that can make or break your journey. Welcome back to Farm with Alexander. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because this channel is all about helping you grow your farm smartly, without breaking the bank. Every week I share practical tips, stories, and strategies that can turn challenges into opportunities for farmers like you. Problem 1. Insufficient capital and debt. One of the biggest stumbling blocks for new farmers is insufficient capital. Farming, unlike what many people think, is not just about having land and putting seeds in the ground. It requires money, sometimes a lot of it. You need funds for seeds, fertilizers, tools, irrigation, labor, and even transportation. And the reality is, many beginners underestimate just how much starting capital they need. Now, because of this, most people run to banks, microfinance institutions, or even family and friends to borrow. At first, loans may seem like the best solution. After all, the bank promises you quick money, and you think to yourself, if I just plant and harvest once, I'll pay everything back and even have profit left over. But sadly, farming doesn't work that way. Nature is unpredictable. Pests, drought, market crashes, anything can happen. And if things don't go according to plan, debt begins to pile up, and suddenly the dream of becoming a farmer turns into a financial nightmare. I have seen farmers who started with so much passion, but gave up within 1 or 2 seasons because they couldn't repay loans. They sold their land, their equipment, and even their livestock, all because of debt. This is why one of the golden rules in farming is start small and grow steadily. If you have little money, don't try to farm 10 acres. Begin with half an acre or even a backyard garden. Master that first, build experience, generate small profits, and then expand gradually. Another important point here is proper planning. Many new farmers spend money without a budget. They buy expensive machines when they don't even have enough land to justify them. They purchase too much fertilizer without first checking what their soil actually needs. And in the end, they waste both money and time. A farmer who cannot manage money well will always find themselves in debt, no matter how much capital they start with. So remember, this capital alone doesn't guarantee success. What matters is how wisely you use what you have. Problem 2. Lack of agricultural knowledge. Another common problem is lack of agricultural knowledge. Many new farmers jump into farming because they see others doing it, or they hear that it's profitable. Some even leave city jobs thinking farming is an easy way to make money. But here's the truth. Without proper knowledge, farming will frustrate you. Think about it. Farming is a science as much as it is an art. You need to understand soil types, crop rotation, planting seasons, irrigation methods, pest control, and even marketing. Without this knowledge, it's like walking blindfolded into a forest. I've met farmers who planted maize in the wrong season, and when the rains didn't come, the entire field failed. Others used the wrong kind of fertilizer, burning their crops instead of feeding them. Some don't even know that before planting, you should test your soil to understand its nutrients. These mistakes don't just reduce yield, they waste money, time, and energy. But here's the good news. Knowledge is more accessible today than ever before. You don't need to have a university degree in agriculture to succeed. You can attend local training programs, learn from agricultural extension officers, watch online tutorials, and of course follow channels like Farm with Alexander, where we simplify complex ideas into practical tips you can use immediately. The smartest farmers are the ones who are always learning. They ask questions, they experiment, and they never assume they know it all. Agriculture keeps changing: new seed varieties, new pest-resistant crops, better irrigation technologies. If you stop learning, you stop growing. So if you're just starting, remember this: don't only invest in seeds and land, invest in knowledge too, because knowledge will save you from costly mistakes and give you confidence in your farming journey. Problem 3. Limited access to land and water now. Let's talk about something that sits at the very heart of farming: land and water. Without them, farming is almost impossible. But for many new farmers, getting access to land is a real struggle. In some regions, land is too expensive to buy. In others, it's tied up in family inheritance issues, making it hard for young or new farmers to own or lease. Even when land is available, it's not always fertile. Some people end up with dry, stony soil that can barely support crops unless you spend a fortune on soil improvement. Water, on the other hand, is even trickier. Rain-fed farming used to work in the past, but with today's changing climate, rains are unpredictable. One season you get too much rain and crops are washed away. The next season you get nothing at all, and crops dry up. Farmers who depend only on rainfall often face disappointment. That's why access to irrigation is so important. But here's the problem. Irrigation equipment like boreholes, pumps, and drip systems can be costly. Many beginners can't afford them. Some live in areas where groundwater is too deep to reach, or rivers are too far away. Without water security, farming becomes a gamble. However, there are solutions. If land is expensive, you don't always need to own a big farm to start. You can lease smaller plots, join cooperative farming groups, or even practice intensive farming on a small piece of land. Urban and peri-urban farmers today are using sack farming, raised beds, and greenhouse farming in small spaces with surprising success. As for water, farmers can harvest rainwater during wet seasons, use low-cost drip irrigation systems, or plant drought-resistant crops that need less water. The key is to be creative and resourceful. Remember, it's not the size of the land that matters most, it's how well you manage it. And it's not about having unlimited water, it's about using what you have wisely. Problem 4. Market access issues now. Here's a challenge many farmers don't think about until it's too late: market access. Imagine working hard for months, battling pests, watering your crops, and finally harvesting, only to realize you have nowhere to sell at a fair price. This is the reality for many new farmers. In some cases, farmers are forced to sell their produce to middlemen, who pay them very little but later sell at double or triple the price in the city. The farmer ends up with almost nothing, despite all the effort. In other cases, crops go bad because there are no storage facilities or transport options to move them quickly, and sometimes, the market is simply oversaturated with too many farmers planting the same crop at the same time. Let me give you an example. During harvest season, tomatoes often flood local markets. Prices crash, and farmers who expected profit end up making a loss. Meanwhile, in another region, people are buying those same tomatoes at high prices because there's no proper link between supply and demand. The truth is, farming is not just about producing, it's also about marketing. A smart farmer plans where the crops will be sold even before planting. Ask yourself, who will buy this? Is it individuals, restaurants, schools, food processors, or wholesalers? Do I need to join a cooperative to sell in bulk? Can I explore value addition like drying, juicing, or packaging to increase the shelf life and profits? New farmers who ignore the market end up frustrated. That's why I always say, don't just think like a grower, think like a business person. Farming is only successful when the produce reaches the right market at the right time and at the right price. Otherwise, all your sweat ends up in the trash heap. Problem 5. Climate vulnerability. One of the biggest enemies of modern farming is climate change. Farmers used to rely on predictable seasons. Rain came when it was expected, and dry seasons followed in order. But today, things are no longer stable. Rains come late or too early, droughts last longer, and sudden floods destroy entire farms overnight. For a new farmer, this unpredictability can be devastating. You may plant your crops at the wrong time and lose everything. Or you may invest heavily in irrigation, only to be hit by unexpected floods. Livestock farmers also suffer: extreme heat weakens animals, reduces milk production, and even leads to death in severe cases. Climate vulnerability also brings new pests and diseases that thrive in changing weather conditions. For example, fall armyworm outbreaks have become more common in maize fields across Africa, partly because of shifting climates. So how do farmers survive in this new reality? The key is adaptation. Smart farmers are now planting drought-resistant crops, using greenhouses to control weather conditions, and diversifying their farms so that if one crop fails, another succeeds. Others are learning to store water, use mulching to keep soil moist, and follow weather forecasts closely before planting. The truth is, no farmer can fully control nature. But with the right knowledge and practices, you can reduce the risks and protect your farm from total loss. Farming has always been about working with nature, not against it. Problem 6. Inadequate infrastructure. Another big challenge is poor infrastructure. Even if you grow the best crops, you'll struggle if roads are bad, storage is lacking, or electricity is unreliable. Many farmers lose money simply because they can't transport their produce to market on time. Others watch their harvest rot because there's no cold storage or proper warehouse nearby. Infrastructure may sound like something outside a farmer's control, but you can adapt, work with cooperatives to pool resources for transport. Explore small-scale storage options like solar dryers for crops or zero-energy coolers for vegetables. Good infrastructure makes farming profitable. Without it, even the hardest-working farmer can still end up at a loss. Problem 7. Managing costs. Farming is a business, and like any business, if you can't control your costs, you'll struggle to make profit. Many new farmers spend more than they should buying unnecessary chemicals, hiring too much labor, or using fuel inefficiently. Sometimes it's not even overspending, but hidden costs. Transport, storage, maintenance of tools, or even paying for water can eat into profits quickly. The solution is simple. Budget before you plant. Write down every expected cost, keep records during the season, and always compare expenses with income after harvest. Farmers who track their costs understand where the money goes and where to save. Problem 8. Pests and diseases. One of the toughest battles farmers faces is against pests and diseases. They can wipe out weeks or even months of hard work in just a few days. For crop farmers, pests like locusts, aphids, and armyworms are notorious. For livestock farmers, diseases like Newcastle disease in poultry or foot and mouth in cattle can destroy entire herds. The problem with new farmers is that many waits until the problem is visible before acting. By the time you notice leaves turning yellow or animals looking weak, it may already be too late. Preventive care is always cheaper and more effective than curing a full outbreak. This is why regular farm monitoring is crucial. Walk through your fields often, check your animals daily, and learn the early signs of problems. Also, rotate crops to reduce soil-borne diseases, and don't overcrowd livestock, as it makes diseases spread faster. Another mistake is overusing chemicals. Some farmers spray too much pesticide, thinking it will solve everything. Instead, it damages the soil, harms beneficial insects like bees, and can even poison consumers. The smarter approach is integrated pest management, using a mix of biological control, resistant crop varieties, and safe chemical use only when absolutely necessary. Remember, pests and diseases will always exist, but with vigilance, planning, and the right practices, you can reduce their impact and protect your farm. Before we continue, let me pause and ask, are you finding this video helpful so far? If yes, then do me a quick favor, hit that like button so more farmers like you can find this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to Farm with Alexander right now. This way you won't miss the second part of this series, where we dive even deeper into farming challenges and practical solutions. Alright, let's get back to it. Problem 9. Farm safety. Farming might look peaceful from the outside, but it comes with serious safety risks. New farmers often ignore this, until an accident happens. Think about it. Sharp tools, heavy machinery, chemicals, and even unpredictable animals. All of these can cause injuries if not handled properly. Many farmers don't use protective gear when spraying pesticides. Some leave equipment lying around carelessly, or send untrained workers to operate machines. All it takes is one small mistake, and someone can end up badly hurt. Farm safety isn't just about protecting people, it's also about protecting the farm itself. Poorly stored chemicals can contaminate soil and water. Weak fencing can allow animals to escape or predators to enter. Even something as simple as failing to lock storage areas can lead to theft of inputs or harvest. New farmers must learn to treat the farm like a workplace, not just a field. Wear gloves, masks, and boots when handling chemicals. Train workers properly before letting them handle tools. Keep first aid supplies on hand. And most importantly, create a routine of safety checks, because prevention is always cheaper than accidents. Problem 10. Finding and retaining labor. One challenge that surprises many new farmers is finding reliable labor. Farming is hard work, and it often requires more hands than you think. Planting, watering, weeding, harvesting, these tasks take time, and without help, a small farm can quickly become overwhelming. But it's not just about finding workers, it's about keeping them. Many new farmers struggle with this. Low wages, poor working conditions, and lack of training often lead to high turnover. One day your farm is full of hands, the next day you're back to doing everything yourself. The solution is to treat labor as a partnership, not just a cost. Provide fair pay, train your workers well, and create a system that makes tasks easier and more organized. Even small gestures, like providing clean water, shaded rest areas, or incentives for hard work, can go a long way. Another approach is to plan your labor needs ahead. Some tasks only require extra hands during planting or harvest season. You don't need full-time workers year-round. Seasonal labor or cooperative arrangements with other farmers in your area can reduce costs and prevent overstaffing. Remember, a farm is only as strong as the people working on it. Treat your workers well, and they'll treat your farm well. Problem 11. Business management and planning. Many new farmers think farming is just about growing crops or raising animals. But the truth is, farming is a business, and like any business, it needs careful management and planning. Without a plan, you might plant the wrong crops, spend too much on inputs, or harvest when the market price is low. Some farmers don't track their expenses or income, so they never really know if they are making a profit or a loss. Others fail to plan for unexpected events, like pest outbreaks, drought, or sudden market changes. Good farm management involves setting goals, budgeting, keeping records, and making decisions based on facts, do not guess. Ask yourself questions like, how much will I spend this season? What is my expected yield? How will I sell my produce? What if a part of the farm fails? Even something as simple as keeping a notebook or using a farm management app can make a huge difference. Farmers who plan ahead are more likely to survive bad seasons, reduce waste, and grow steadily over time. So, remember, no matter how fertile your land or how perfect your weather, poor planning can destroy a farm. Treat your farm like a business from day one, and you'll always have a roadmap for success. Problem 12. Post-harvest losses. Even after months of hard work, many farmers face losses after harvest, sometimes more than what they lost in the field. Crops can spoil quickly due to poor storage, pests, or delays in transport. Fruits, vegetables, grains, and even harvested fish or meat can lose value before reaching buyers. New farmers often underestimate this problem. They may harvest at the wrong time, store produce in open containers, or lack access to cold storage and drying facilities. Sometimes the roads are bad, and transport takes days, causing crops to rot before reaching the market. The key is planning for post-harvest management. Simple solutions can make a huge difference. For grains, use airtight bags or silos. For vegetables and fruits, solar dryers or temporary cold storage can extend shelf life. Even proper handling, careful picking, sorting, and packaging reduces damage. Post-harvest losses don't just waste food, they waste money, time, and energy. Smart farmers know that a harvest isn't truly complete until the produce is safely sold or stored. Problem 13. Lack of modern technology. Adoption technology is changing the way farming is done, but many new farmers don't take advantage of it. They stick to old methods because they're familiar, or they think modern tools are too expensive. The result: lower yields, wasted resources, and more work for less reward. Think about it today. Farmers can use drip irrigation to save water, soil sensors to monitor nutrients, or drones to scout large fields for pests and plant health. Even simple tools like mobile apps for weather forecasts, market prices, or farm management can make a big difference. The problem is not only cost, it's awareness. Many new farmers don't know what technologies exist or how to use them safely. Some try advanced tools without training, which can lead to accidents or failure. The solution is to start small. Test one new tool at a time, learn how it works, and gradually adopt technologies that suit your farm size and budget. Modern technology isn't just for big commercial farms, it's for anyone who wants to farm smarter, not harder. Remember, the farmer who embraces useful technology has an edge. It saves time, reduces losses, and increases profits without overworking yourself. Problem 14. Government policies and bureaucracy. Many new farmers are caught off guard by government policies and bureaucracy. Sometimes, rules about land ownership, subsidies, fertilizer distribution, or permits can be confusing, slow, or even contradictory. A farmer may spend weeks trying to access a subsidy, only to be told they missed a requirement. This can be frustrating, especially when every day counts in farming. Delays in permits, lack of clarity on regulations, or sudden policy changes can hurt production and profits. Some new farmers give up simply because they feel the system is working against them. The key is staying informed and building networks. Join local farmers associations, cooperatives, or online groups where updates are shared. Work with extension officers who can guide you through paperwork. And always keep copies of all documents, land deeds, receipts, permits, so you're ready if questions arise. While you may not control government systems, knowing the rules and planning ahead ensures your farm doesn't get caught in unnecessary delays or penalties. Problem 15. Emotional and mental stress in farming. Finally, let's talk about something many new farmers often overlook: emotional and mental stress. Farming is not just physically demanding. It can take a heavy toll on your mind and spirit. Imagine waking up every morning, worrying about whether your crops will survive, if pests will attack, whether the rains will come on time, or if you'll find buyers for your produce. Many new farmers feel isolated because friends or family may not fully understand the daily struggles. When things go wrong, like crop failure, unexpected debts, or market crashes, the stress can become overwhelming, leading to frustration, anxiety, or even depression. Some farmers give up, not because they lack skills or money, but because the mental weight of farming becomes too heavy to bear. Handling this stress starts with recognizing that it is normal and part of the farming journey. Organize your farm carefully to reduce chaos, share your challenges with other farmers or support groups, and take short breaks to clear your mind. Even a few minutes of rest can make a difference. Celebrate small victories, like a healthy harvest or solving a problem successfully, to remind yourself that progress is happening, even in small steps. Farming requires patience, resilience, and a positive mindset, and those who manage their stress well are far more likely to succeed over time. Here's a bonus tip for farmers watching: always consider diversifying your farm. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Growing multiple crops or combining crop and livestock farming can protect your income. If one crop fails or one part of the farm faces challenges, another part can help sustain you. Diversification reduces risk, stabilizes your cash flow, and keeps you learning new skills every season. It's a simple idea, but it often separates farmers who struggle from those who thrive. So, there you have it. The 15 biggest challenges new farmers face and practical ways to navigate them. Always remember that success in farming doesn't depend solely on the environment. Even if your land is fertile and the weather is perfect, without knowledge, planning, and consistent effort, your farm cannot reach its full potential. Take each challenge one at a time, learn from your experiences, and don't hesitate to seek advice or try new solutions. Farming is as much about perseverance and strategy as it is about hard work. If you found this video helpful, Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because in the next video, we'll dive even deeper into these challenges and share advanced strategies to overcome them. Until next time, keep farming smart, keep learning, and remember knowledge and practice are your most powerful tools on the farm.